Hello, I'm Antonio Mora. This is the newsandnews.com Day in Brief. Today's top stories in 4 minutes. It's Friday, November 16th at about 7 p.m. Late Friday afternoon, Democrat Stacey Abrams acknowledged that Republican Brian Kemp will be the next governor of Georgia. As recently as this morning, she was considering more legal challenges. Even though she ended her run, she refused to concede, accusing her opponent of deliberate actions to suppress the vote. Most lawsuits did not go Democrat Bill Nelson's way in Florida. Recounts haven't either. He'd need a mathematically extreme result in the manual recount of the Broward County over and under votes to be able to retain his Senate seat. Given the irregularities that have already occurred there, I shudder to think about what would happen if a rabbit gets pulled out of the Broward hat. Also in Florida, Democrat Andrew Gillum has not conceded to Republican Ron DeSantis, although his path to victory in the governor's race would depend on Hail Mary court decisions. In Nelson's case, this is his swan song, so I can understand him going down swinging, but Gillum could have a long future ahead of him. Hanging on may be okay with his base, but not accepting that he almost certainly lost may hurt him with independents. There is no rabbit to be pulled out of a hat in his case. I'm sure you, like me, would like the midterms to be over and also hope that Special Counsel Mueller can finalize his investigation sooner rather than later. Today, President Trump said he finished answering Mueller's questions but has yet to submit the answers. Trump said it was easy and routine, but accused the special counsel's team of trying to be tricky and catch him in a perjury trap, implying that prosecutors have, quote, bad intentions. Trump's legal team is believed to have objected to questions from Mueller that cover the transition period after the 2016 election, believing it could be off limits under executive privilege. In another related development, prosecutors inadvertently revealed that WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange has been charged in a sealed court case. House Republicans aren't going out without a bang, saying they will subpoena former FBI Director James Comey and former Attorney General Loretta Lynch before Democrats take control. The circus continues. A federal judge who was appointed by Trump ruled against him and granted an emergency motion to restore Jim Acosta's press credential. In seeking such motions, plaintiffs must show a likelihood of winning the case on the merits. But in the bizarro world that is the nation's capital, Sarah Sanders claimed this was a win because the judge made it clear there is no absolute First Amendment right to access the White House. She said they would respond to the court and, quote, further develop rules and processes to ensure fair and orderly press conferences in the future. The question, of course, is why aren't those rules and processes already in place? The answer may be that they hadn't been necessary until now, with the out-of-control antagonism between Trump and the media, where traditional etiquette has disappeared. The consequences of the Camp Fire in Northern California are increasingly incomprehensible. Colleges and schools have closed 200 miles away in the Bay Area, and it is almost certainly the most deadly catastrophe in the U.S. since 9/11. The number of confirmed dead has exceeded 60, but the list of missing ballooned to more than 600, a number that may come down significantly as people are found. At its worst, you couldn't outrun the flames. They were burning the equivalent of one football field per second. North Korea says it tested a newly developed ultra-modern weapon in an event that involved Kim Jong-un. It may be typical North Korean militaristic grandstanding, but it is another sign that negotiations with the U.S. are faltering. In our alternate universe segment, the great divide between conservative and liberal media, well, that was enormous today when it came to Democratic Senator Kamala Harris. The 2020 presidential hopeful, during a Capitol Hill hearing, is being attacked for drawing parallels between ICE and the KKK. First, when are politicians ever going to learn that comparing anything in any way, no matter how indirectly, to Nazis or the KKK is just plain dumb? Second, to put it in full context, her comments came in the confirmation hearing for the nominee to head ICE. He had compared the Democratic Party to a neo-Klanist entity in a tweet. He apologized, saying he thought it was a private message and meant as a joke. Not something you joke about. This morning, if you Googled Kamala Harris, the story was being covered almost exclusively by conservative news organizations. It was nowhere to be found on mainstream or left-of-center sites. Can you imagine how different the coverage would be if a Republican had done the same thing? This is bias by omission. Choosing not to cover some stories can evidence bias as much as the stories covered and the way they're covered. Part of our mission is to bring you stories that are both stories that the left and right care about. Finally, you may not know his name, but at one point he was one of the most powerful people in Hollywood, and he probably gave you many hours of, well, joy. William Goldman was a two-time Oscar winner and a legend in the business for more reasons than I have time to enumerate. Suffice it to say that he wrote the screenplays for Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, All the President's Men, Marathon Man, The Stepford Wives, and the book and screenplay for The Princess Bride. That's just a small sampling. Goldman died at 87, but he will keep entertaining us for generations. We have all those stories and much more updated around the clock 7 days a week on newsandnews.com, where you will find all you need to know in one place. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the right of your screen just below this video, and please follow us on Facebook at Real News and News, and me on Twitter at AmoraTV. I'll see you again on Monday. Have a great weekend.